Good morning, children. Standard 8, subject English, lesson number 4.1, The Vet. Yes, children, The Vet is one of the poem. It is a short form, that is vet, but the full form of it is veterinarian. Yes, veterinarian. Okay, so this veterinarian is a doctor for the animals and the birds. So today we are going to study such a poem. Now I am going to recite it. Every one of you all just pay attention over here. Okay, children. So just pay attention. I am reciting the poem. Page number 77. The vet. To be a successful and a competent vet needs the knowledge exceedingly wide. For each of the patients he is likely to get possess a different insight. He must know why the cat is refusing her milk, why the dog is not eating his bone, why the coat of the horse is not shining like the silk, why the parrot does nothing but groan, why the ducks and the chickens are failing to lay, why so faint the canary bird sings, and if he is called to the zoo, he must say an incredible number of things. If the lion's caught a cold, if the zebra's getting old, if the centipede has trouble with his feet, if the hippo's feeling ill, if the bison's got a chill, if the Arctic fox is suffering from the heat, if some virulent disease has attacked the chimpanzees, if the tortoise hasn't stirred for the several years, if the bear's too full of buns, if the cobra eats her sons, if the panther has a wife who chew his ears, if giraffe had a tiff and their neck are feeling stiff, if the hyenas will not caught at the keeper's joke, if the monkeys pinched his tail, if the rhinos looking pale, if the elephants eat the paper bags and chokes, if the camel hurt his hump, if the kangaroo won't jump, if the crocodile turns the cannon bell and bites, they run away and get. That omniscience the vet, and accept him to put everything to the right. Profoundly, I pity the vet who must learn such a very great deal for his pay. My son, I advise you most strongly to earn your living as easier way. Don't attempt to attend the zoological crowd. A far more advisable plan is a call yourself doctor and so be allowed to treat the illness of a man. Written by Guy Bose. Okay, children. So this is the poem. I have recited it. Now I am going to explain it to you all. So just pay attention over here. Okay. So I am going to explain the poem stanza wise. Okay. Now I am starting with the first one stanza over here. To be a successful and the competent vet needs the knowledge exceedingly wide. For each of the patients he is likely to get possess a different insight. Okay, children. So what is said over here in the first stanza that this is a poem which is very light-hearted poem. So here the poet begins by saying that if one wants to be a successful and a capable veterinarian, one needs to have extremely wide knowledge. Okay, so what happened, as this knowledge is very wide, for each patient the vet has different types of size of the organs in his body. Okay, children, this is what it has said it in this first stanza. Now moving on to the second stanza, I am reading it. He must know why the cat is refusing her milk, why the dog is not eating his bone, why the coat of the horse is not shining like silk, why the parrot does nothing but groan. Okay, children. Now let us see what is the explanation here. The veterinarian has to know why the cat is refusing to drink the milk, then why the dog refuses to eat his bone. He must know why the coat of the horse is not shining very silkily, and then or else he should know the parrot does nothing else but only groan. Okay, children, moving on to the next one stanza. Why the ducks and the chickens are failing to lay. Why so faint? The canary bird sings. And if he is called to the zoo, he must say an incredible number of things. Okay. So our next stanza, what is saying over here? Here he is saying that the poet is saying that the veterinarian must know why the ducks and the hens are not laying the eggs and why the canary sings so softly. If he is called to the zoo, he has a lot of patience and an unbelievable number of things to be said. Okay, children? Then the next one paragraph is over here. If the lions caught a cold, if the zebra is getting old, if the centipede has trouble with his feet, if the hippo is feeling ill, if the bison got a chill, if the Arctic fox is suffering from the heat. Okay. Now, what is said in this stanza? Here, there is a lion who caught a very cold. The zebra is very old in age, so this is a problem. If the centipede has trouble with his feet, or the hippopotamus is feeling ill, the bison is feeling chilled, okay, or the Arctic fox is going to suffering from the heat. So the vet is called over here. Okay. Now the next stanza over here. If some virulent disease has attacked the chimpanzees, if the tortoise hasn't stirred for the several years, if the bear's too full of buns, if the cobra eats her son, if the panther has a wife who chew his ears. Okay. So now what is said over here? Now let us see what is said in this line. In this line. Now here what is it saying that if some of the deadly disease has spread among the chimpanzees or the tortoise, it hasn't moved for the several years. So what happens? The bear has eaten too many buns, or the cobra has eaten her babies, or the female panther chews the ear of her mate. The vet is called over here for what is the problem. Okay. Then the next one is if giraffes had a tiff and their necks are feeling stiff. So if the hyenas will not laugh at the keeper's joke, if the monkeys pinched his tail, if the rhinos looking pale. Okay. So now here what it is said. Here again in this stanza it is said that the giraffes have had a very quarrel and now have the stiff neck. So the hyenas will not laugh when the zookeepers crack the jokes. If the monkey has pinched his tail, or the rhinoceros is looking pale, or the elephant has eaten the paper bags and chokes the vet is called over here. If the elephant eats the paper bags and chokes, if the camel hurt his hump, if the kangaroos won't jump, if the crocodile turns the cannibal and bites, they run away and get at omniscience the vet and expect him to put everything to the right. Okay. So now this is the second last stanza over here. In the second last stanza, it is said that the poet is saying that if the camel has hurt his hump, the kangaroos won't jump. If the crocodile turns into the man-eater and bites, the people at the zoo run off and get the vet who is expected to know everything and who is expected to cure everything. Okay. So the last stanza over here, reading it. Profoundly I pity the vet who must learn such a very great deal for his pay. My son, I advise you most strongly to earn your living an easier way. Don't attempt to attend the zoological crowd. A far more advisable plan is to call yourself doctors and so be allowed to treat the illness of the man. Okay, so here in the last stanza, the poet greatly pities the vet who has to learn such a great deal for the pay. The poet strongly advises the reader to earn his living in an easier way. He also gives the advice is not to attempt to attend the animals A far better plan, says he, would be to call oneself a doctor and attend to the illness of the human beings. Okay, children? So, this is what I have explained it to you all. I hope every one of you all must have understood it. Thank you.